And thanks for tuning in to Serial Busters. That is spelled with an S-E-R-I-A-L, just to let you know, just in case you thought some other things. But it is February the 8th of the new year, the 2015. It's the second month. We're getting a little bit into it. But it's still a fun new year. We're hoping everyone's having fun, getting in the sun, although we live in Michigan, so it's not getting very far. But this is episode 1. This is the pilot. My name is Devin, and I am a sincere, compassionate man, and I like to do stuff and talk. And I'm going to pass it over to my partner, John, right about now.
Well, thank you, Devin. That was very great. I'm John. I'm going to be basically the writer for this show and kind of the idea man, and I'm going to throw it over to Ryan, the voice of sex.
All right, now, I'm Ryan. I like to talk a lot. I like to talk to ladies a lot. I have a good time. I play sports. I'm a little bit more of the athletic mind behind this show, while the other two guys are a bit more, let's put it this way, they know more about games than I do, but I know more about
But this is about life. This isn't about...
This is about all sorts of things, John. It's not just about our topics today, but about what we can bring back to our listeners. Back over to Devin.
I couldn't believe such of an amazing thought. Okay, now I'm sitting here thinking about to myself, pulling out this random styrofoam out of the stool, and then I think, wow, what an amazing life we have in here, seeing things just being pulled out of things. But either way, I'm going to pull out a topic for everyone to discuss, and that is, let's go with cereal prices. In the U.S., cereal prices are actually getting very expensive. I'm going to throw that to my man, John, because he knows a little bit more about it.
Okay, so cereal prices in the U.S. per pound equal more than gas per gallon right now in the U.S. And honestly, gas is a non-renewable resource, and the fact that it's at a price it is reasonable to a certain degree. However, cereal is completely renewable. Why is it per pound more than gasoline? It's not really a hot commodity, so why is that? Throw this out to the room. Any ideas, guys?
Well, I see it's a very good topic, but it's also the fact that, well, you said that gas prices are a little bit reasonable right now, but it's more dependent on where you live, but as cereal prices probably depend on where you live as well.
I guess, true. I mean, but we live in Michigan, Kellogg's, right in our backyard, General Mills, right in our backyard.
True.
Why are our prices so expensive?
Now, you have to think here. You're looking for a cereal price. It's something that you have to eat, you have to consume. It's not something...
Well, you consume gasoline, don't you?
Yes.
And that's non-renewable. You can renew... They're constantly making more cereal.
But it's in demand. It's the fact that it's in demand that it's the price.
Okay, yeah, you have a point. It's in demand. Gasoline is in demand. It is a demand because we use it in our cars every day. It's a necessity.
But everyone wants to feed their kids sugary cereals and impress them and be like, get the brand name stuff. You don't want to get them the crappy stuff that costs less.
Well,
because
what are you saying crappy? You're saying generic?
Yes, I'm saying generic.
No,
It doesn't taste as good. It doesn't look as good to the kids. It doesn't appeal to them.
Okay. You also have to look at competition. If you only had one or two cereal brands or two cereal flavors, prices would be lower. But because you have this wide variety where you're covering 15, 20 different flavors, designs, letters even of cereal, now you have kids that want these and they can drive prices up because they have this variety. They have to compete with each other.
They have a certain cereal that is wanted.
Okay, so competition is the big issue there, where we're getting that price that goes up. Whereas gas is more of a set price based on who's refining it, really. All right. Speaking of gas, let's go into the fact of the Helios that's been announced for coming in 2016. It's basically a 3-wheel car with a motorcycle engine, similar to the smart car style of that. Devin, you know a lot about this. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, seeing as the fact that my arms are in my sweater, it's a very small car. It's got 3 wheels, so it's kind of like a trike.
Is a small car smart, though? I mean, gas mileage is one thing, but
gas mileage
safety
is incredible on it. I mean, safety is
what's
an
the gas
aspect
mileage
that needs
on
to
it?
be looked
What's
at.
your MPG?
But it is 80 mpg highway. I think city is about 65, if I remember correctly.
That's crazy.
Which is absolutely insane. That's better than just about anything I've ever heard. It's seeing as it's technically a car by the size because it's built on a Civic body. I think I read, if I don't remember.
Yeah, redesigned Civic body. Is what
yeah, and they condensed it down to 3 wheels, and I mean, I guess it's big, but it's not too small to where you would totally get wrecked in a crash, but safety is a big factor. It needs
from
to be
what I've
looked
heard,
at.
it has crumple zones. It's got a roll cage, but even if all that,
Well, everything has crumple zones.
yeah, even cars now do. But even with all that, I really don't think it's a viable source for driving. I think it's not safe. I think it's really bad design. I think it's driving the auto industry in a way it shouldn't be headed. I think we should be putting our money into other gas sources, into more power for regular cars, not building smaller cars that are more dangerous. If everyone drove these, we wouldn't have an issue. But there's still the big semis, there's the big SUVs that are going to hit you in these cars. It's inevitable. Someone's going to get crashed. There's going to be a lawsuit. And you might as well just stay away from the lawsuit in general.
Okay, now you have to look. You can be walking or taking your bike down the side of the road and get hit by a semi, too. If you're going to get hit by something, you might get hit by something, and it doesn't matter what you're in. What if you're on a motorcycle now? Technically, it's a car, and we're talking about different things here. But riding a motorcycle, if you get hit by a car or semi, you don't have that roll cage. You can die.
On a motorcycle, yeah, but you're choosing to buy a car that's enclosed, and it's saying it's safe. Whereas a motorcycle, you know
You're grabbing the bull by the horns.
You're on the outside of that vehicle. You're not. This is inside. When you're in a car, you're supposed to feel safe. You're supposed to feel, there's luxury cars, there's sports cars. You're supposed to feel snug and comfortable in the vehicle you're driving. You're not supposed to feel condensed, tiny, No,
maybe this is just redefining what it means to have a car. You can still have those varieties, and maybe this is just the new brand. It's the new thing that's coming out.
Or imagine if this came first.
True. That would change. I mean,
then they would just evolve on that.
Yeah, they could. Honestly, I don't know. I think that it's going to lead the auto industry in a way it shouldn't be led.
Might leave a bad taste in some people's mouths.
Yeah, the smart car was kind of the first of its kind, looking like a golf cart. But I mean, it's got that. They say it's got a titanium body that can withstand massive amount of pressure and weight. But I haven't seen one that's survived a single crash.
And beyond that, we're going to go on and flip and switch. We're going to flip and switch to the topic of oil in the U.S.
Wow, that's a good topic there.
Who wants to lead
I like that topic. I'll start. Lately, gas prices went down. We almost made it to $4. We were at $3.99, and we dropped to $1.99. That's crazy. I think that's probably the biggest drop in gas prices in the U.S.
I saw it get down to $1.89 there for a little bit.
I saw it at $1.79.
I mean, it could have been lower from what I saw. It was $1.99 fairly average.
$1.99, $2.
But this is, and a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people thought it was a surplus. This is actually because of the drilling and
extraction method
and extraction method we have going on in the U.S., which is fracking. And a lot of that's coming from states like Michigan and Ohio, where they're doing this fracking in the shale levels underground, where there's a lot of hidden oil. And basically all they do is they break up all the rocks down there, it releases the oil, they collect it, and then refine it. However, a lot of people don't like this because fracking can leave sinkholes, even more issues. It could cause pipelines underground for sewage, water, electrical wires underground can be disturbed. This can cause a lot of issues. So this is a hugely controversial topic in the U.S. right now. A lot of people don't like it.
It really seems like you know your shit, John. Ryan, what do you think about it?
See, now it's definitely controversial on how we're doing this because it does have its benefits to an economic matter.
I definitely agree with that.
And it leads to more of a social problem there where you're having people look at and just seeing the surface matter of, oh, look, now I'm saving money, but at what cost to the environment?
Well, that's with a lot of things.
Yes, but you have to remember that this is the world we live on, and at some point the finances are there. And yes, I'm saving money, but if I don't have a home because my house goes in a damn sinkhole, then you got to look at that.
But you could lose your home from a lot of other things, like another topic, which is Obama and all his laws, Medicare. He's talking about doing a workout bill to make working out part of a Medicare bill. The free community college he's trying to offer, that will make property taxes skyrocket,
which could definitely have you lose your home.
Which you could lose your home. A business that you own, cars, everything.
See, if you don't mind me jumping in here, this is something I care a little bit more passionately about.
I love being jumped into.
Things. I know that, Devin. I know that's your favorite thing when people just cut you off. Now,
Oh, yeah.
back to what I was saying, as it holds a little more value than Devin's interruption. I would like to continue on. I would like to get
Well, anyways, for now, we'll just go into the topic of going to the theater versus pirating movies.
Or movies that should just be released digitally.
That's a big one.
Recently, the interview, which everyone has to know about by now, is all over the news with Korea hacking them. Should they just release it digitally, or should you have to go to the theater and pay? A lot of people think you should just stay at home, watch the movie with a couple friends, pay the $5, and sit at home and watch it. And we saw the success with that with the interview. They did that. They, and even recently they released it on Netflix. They're getting a lot of money for it and a lot of views, which is what they want.
It's way better than just going to the theater and spending $10 on the theater ticket.
Exactly.
Spending $1 million on your fucking food. And then going in there and sitting with someone for about an hour maybe, and then getting a little bored and having to go pee in the middle of it. When it's at home, you can go and pause it. You can
pause it. You can watch it at your leisure. It's really gonna revolutionize the way movies are. I think that's the way Hollywood's gonna start doing.
You don't have to sneak snacks into your own home.
You don't. You can. What you have is what you have, and if you want more, you can go get more. Pause the movie, come back. So that's where I think this should be heading. I don't think piracy is necessarily the answer. However, if that's your forte, that's your forte. I think it should just be released digitally.
I still think there should be some value to releasing it in theaters, at least for
I think
a 2-week period where you get the big screen reviews. Because some movies you look at and you see the big war movies with the explosions, and does a typical Michael Bay film have the same experience on a 40-inch TV as it does on a TV that's 30 feet wide?
With the surround sound and those big speakers that are actually fully paid for to get you to experience that sound.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's a good point.
And also the people that aren't with the generation that aren't, capable, like they don't have devices just to stream that type of thing. They just have a TV and a DVD player. It's not as far as, I can just rent it on my phone and watch it on my Chromecast. I can rent it on my Roku.
Most people now don't just have a DVD player. They have a game console or multiple game consoles.
I'm talking about the people that aren't with the times, though.
How many people aren't with the times, though? I mean, everyone has a computer.
No,
you can watch it on a computer.
I know people who still don't. And
I know
take
a lot of
people
people
below that
don't.
poverty line a little bit. And yes, these people aren't going out to movies all the time. But these people still do have time to enjoy themselves. And when you start changing how things are filmed...
it doesn't change how they're filmed. It just really changes how they release, sold.
How they're released.
I mean, I see your point. It's a good point. I think we should move on from here, Ryan. I think we're going to go with another topic you would enjoy, which is just sex in general.
Sex. Oh, what a beautiful topic.
Ryan is the sex man.
He's the voice of sex on this radio channel.
You flatter me now.
Sexy cakes.
Sexy cakes.
We call them muffin cakes.
I've heard worse than that, baby. Okay, so throw something at me. Give me something to talk about.
Are women? No. We'll lead into that.
Devin,
are women toys, or are they
equal sex partners?
Equal sex partners versus toys. Now, I believe this depends on the woman and the man. It depends on your attitude. Now, I was raised where if I don't treat women with respect, I get my ass beat. So, going into my relationships or just friendships where we do participate in sex, and it's a beautiful thing to just be able to be friends with somebody and have sex, but that doesn't necessarily make them a toy. As long as you're treating each other with equal respect, I feel that it turns out better that way for both parties. Another question.
How do you feel about multiple partners compared to a single partner? Ergo, a single partner or having a threesome, a foursome, etc.
Okay, well, I think this is definitely interesting, especially if you get into college, it's much more frequent than trying to do it on your own, as it's most men's fantasy to be able to have a 3 or 4-some. It's not often the easiest thing to pull off.
Okay, question with the 3 or 4-some. When you say 3 or 4-some and it's man's dream, do you mean multiple women?
Of course.
Or multiple, or just like you a friend and a girl?
I would say that
Either way.
Either way, I think it's something that a lot of men think about is being able to take and have sex with two girls at once, or just two guys having sex with one girl. I think it's something that's often kind of thought as something they'd like to try, at least. Something they'd like to dabble.
Everybody's got their own opinion. Everybody likes different things. You could have some bi guys, you could have some try guys, and everybody just wants something different. But in the end, it's not really to be a generalization that it's every guy's dream, but it probably is in most cases.
I think what's important is when you start participating in groups, that the most important thing is just that everyone in the group understands what it's going to be and that they're comfortable with doing it. Because when you have somebody who isn't necessarily comfortable, it can bring an awkward vibe to the situation, and you just want to be able to enjoy yourself to the fullest during that experience.
Yeah, you need to be open and loving.
Okay. Now, do you think sex is for everyone?
I think sex should be for everyone. Now, I think sex is different for everyone because some people like it rougher, some people like the passionate kissing, foreplay, role play, all types of different things. I think sex can be for everyone. You just have to find what you like.
And it also depends on religious beliefs, the way you want to go about sex. I mean, when to have it at marriage, be able to have it at 18. All religions are different. They may have some similarities, but
well, and it's not all religion either. It can, some people don't have a religion. They can just be,
religion's a big part of it too, is what I meant. Like, there's definitely a big part of the law too, like age of consent.
Well, now that brings up an interesting topic there as to religion, just
in general,
that religion as a whole, and how it's transitioning into more of a liberal society where we don't base many of our decisions on religion anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think that went away a long time ago where, you kind of have to divide church and state. That clearly has to be separate. One has too much influence over the other, and someone's naive in one case or the other.
We got some political views over here, I see.
But we're going to have to save that topic for another podcast, because right now we're going into the lightning round. And our lightning round for this episode is it black to say? And I'm gonna read off the first topic.
Oh, so let me explain what happens. So Ryan and John is gonna read off a topic. He's gonna read off this versus this. Ryan and I will both say right after John announces, we will say which one we think is the blacker thing to say. This is gonna be real quick. It's just a lightning round, real quick, just an icebreaker for everybody. We're gonna go with other topics after. All right, John, lead us off.
All right, so bust versus I'm gonna come.
Bust, definitely bust.
Okay,
bust.
Boo versus bay.
Bay.
Boo. Oh, black's definitely boo.
Yeah, because it's kind of like a trendy white thing to do bay now.
Yeah, you got all the pictures.
All right,
it's gotta be
moving
boo.
on.
Yeah, I love
so
you, boo.
Boo's the answer to that
boo.
one, actually. Hot minute versus minute.
Hot minute.
That's hot minute. I'll go hot minute.
Okay, hot minute is brah versus bro.
Bruh. It's bruh.
Bruh. With the
Bruh?
U.
You think
Bruh. It's with the U.
B-R-U-H.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Bruh is like a
I
surfer
personally
thing.
would have went with bro.
Bruh. It's bruh. Like, what's up, bruh?
Yeah.
All right.
Gotta
So
add the
that's the
slang.
lightning round.
That's the lightning round. All right, let's throw another topic out to me here.
All right, so another topic. This is kind of a lesser topic, but I think it's a big topic to me. 10 keyless versus 10 key keyboards. I honestly find having the numpad, as most people call it, on your keyboard is really annoying. I know you guys think this is dumb, but I think it's kind of important. Numpads, I think, are really useless now. Unless you're an accountant, it's useless to have.
Not only an accountant, but I think there are many jobs that could be using it. Personally, when I use it, whenever I'm typing numbers, I always use it because I have both my hands on the keyboard and I immediately slide my right hand over to the numpad. Num lock is always on. There's no reason that I will need to use those freaking arrows on the goddamn numbers. I will only be typing numbers, and that's some bullshit that they leave that lock on. But either way, I'm always using the numbers whenever I type numbers because my right hand can just conveniently slide over, except for me going to have to reach to press those goddamn numbers on the keyboard.
Yeah, I see that. But I mean, it just makes the form factor of the keyboard so much more comfortable and convenient.
Factor my ass. All I have to do is slide my hand.
I agree with that one too. I like my numpad. As much as I use my laptop less than you guys, but when I do use my laptop and I have to do numbers, I would rather slide to the side and keep more settings at the top and different things like that rather than using my numbers at the top. I enjoy my numpad.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, just double checking.
Okay, well, that really good discussion. So now we're going to move to one of the biggest topics right now. Cutting the cord, or in other words, cable versus like Netflix, Hulu.
Internet services.
Internet provided TV, basically. I myself have actually cut the cord. I don't have cable anymore. I go with just Netflix and internet, and it's great. There's always a new show to watch, whether you like binge watching or just planning out a schedule from Netflix. It's really great. You can see all the shows you want. But some people really prefer cable. They prefer their premium channels and being able to see their sports right then and there. I mean, I have an antenna, so I can still get some of the sports channels, get my news. But Devin, how do you feel about that?
Well, it depends. Personally, I like having Netflix and cable at the same time because on-demand selection is a little bit more prominent in the popular media. So you'll see a lot more of the new movies out on demand. You can rent them. You can't just rent stuff with Netflix. I mean, you can rent it through probably Google Play on your phone or Apple somehow. I don't know how that works. But you can definitely easily obtain it, but I think it's easier through cable. But I do like Netflix because there are some independent shows.
Yeah, there's some really good independent movies and shows coming out. And Netflix's original series. You can't get that anywhere else. And some of them are really good. Others need work, but, as is every show.
True, very true, very true.
You can find some shows also you wouldn't have never seen. Ryan, I know you found Blue Mountain State, which we all found amazingly hilarious. That shows, I'm giving that show a shout out. That show is really good. You have to remember,
however, that was first on cable, and a lot of shows on Netflix were
I'm not saying cable was a bad thing. However, having a collective of shows that were discontinued or were on cable at one point cable isn't the big thing. You don't need that provider anymore. These content providers will find the other media, like Netflix. They will just upload straight to Netflix and forget that they can release their shows on cable weekly. They can still do that, but right now cable's dying because it's not providing its customers with things they want.
Sorry to cut you off. As a sports guy, I like my lifetime shows. I like being able to watch the big games or the small games.
Yeah, you like your ESPN 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Within that, hold on. Within that, there are, say you have a Roku, and that's what you get your Netflix and Hulu off of, and that's how you watch your cable, basically. If you like
ESPN app or NFL
Etc.
app.
Cable, the cut cable, basically, the internet cable. So beyond me just AKAing stuff, you can get sports packages and pay like $5 a month and get all the ESPNs and all the different views and the behind the scenes stuff that you would get for paying like $200 on Dish for that stupid sports package that nobody freaking wants.
Yeah, true.
I mean, it's just real. Cutting the cable is definitely a thing. I mean, everybody's trying to buy antennas nowadays, but antennas aren't going to get you the selection that you can get at any point.
No, but I saw the Super Bowl, no problem. I mean, few minor interruptions, but it was snowing, so what are you going to do? But
blizzarding.
I get my news, and I get some sports channels, so it works.
Are you okay? Are you going to keep going?
It's fucking stuck in there. I can't get it out.
No, I think the one thing is that by doing it online and through Netflix and Roku and Hulu, I think you get more of a personalized selection with what you want.
Exactly, you get to choose what you want to watch.
Stuff is tailored to you. I think the one thing about cable is that it gives you the wide variety. Now, if I want to watch the Cooking Network, I can. If I want to watch a movie, it's there for me. If I want to watch the news, it's there. So it gives me the variety while I'm paying more for it.
You're paying more for shows you don't watch, though. That's the thing. That's the thing with people. That's what they're getting upset at the cable companies about. Is I want a selective amount of shows.
About it.
And some people aren't. Some people enjoy it. But there's a larger group of people that are like, I want specific channels that I'm going to watch. I don't want to pay for my 220 channels and I watch 5 of them.
Very, very
because
true. Yeah.
you're paying $180 a month for all these channels when you're watching 5, 6 of them
Yeah, it's like
Maybe.
paying for the basic 50 channel package, and you want to get the channels that are past those 50 channels, but you have to upgrade for that. You don't pick and choose with your cable company because they don't want you to do that because they want their money.
They want to have control over what you watch, basically.
Well, no, there is the possibility of having both, where you keep a basic cable package and then maybe add a Netflix or something more
Very true.
personalized, where you can have both.
Very true.
But you just
Yeah.
don't have to go
But
gung-ho one or the other, just deciding to cut the cord completely or to not cut it at all, where you can keep basic cable and get your movies and get your TNT and your news and your
Definitely.
sports while still having the personalized whatever channels you'd be looking for.
That's a good point. But not take it away from the whole point of cutting the cord is to save money, and that's the thing. If you have the income to support your cable and your Netflix, do it. But if you're running low on cash and you still want your TV, cutting the cord is the best option because you get your cheap cable. You get your internet for cheap. You get your cable for cheap.
You get
And it works
Netflix
out.
for $8 a month.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
I mean, you can only do 2 devices at a time, but if you upgrade to $12 a month, you can do 4 to 6 devices, if I remember correctly. And
That's if they're
sounds
activated,
right.
though.
That
I mean,
sounds
not to undermine Netflix or anything, but you don't have to activate those devices. So you could have more than that at a time without activating them, because you have to activate your account to that. You can just sign in and use it. So that's a plus. But they're trying to cut down on that because that's bad for them. I don't want to give myself a bad rep. I'm not saying I do that, but it's something you can do. And with that, we're going to move on to possibly the final topic, which is a big one right now. I've noticed it's really big around here. It's started to really grow, and that's vaping, which is, for those of you who don't know, that's basically an e-cigarette using an oil which is either vegetable glycerin or polypropylene glycol with a flavoring, and some people will have it with nicotine, replacing cigarettes. The tobacco companies really don't like this because it's cheap to make, easy for everyone to get into, and it's honestly going to cut back on cigarette sales and cut down on a lot of that. So how do you guys feel about it?
Well, pretty much it is really blowing up because I see people doing it at school every freaking day we go there.
Yeah,
every time we
that's true.
walk on campus, everybody
and their mom seems to be vaping.
Yeah, you see at least 3 person on your walk to class, and it's funny because you still see the people smoking, but they're just sitting there and they're like they admire the people who are vaping because it's you can get the certain color you want. Your pen looks cool. It doesn't taste like complete ass.
Like a cigarette does, yeah.
You can cut your addiction with them. That's kind of pick and choose because most people don't. They say they're gonna, and then they just kind of keep hitting the thing and getting the same amount of nicotine in their juice. But it's a good way to quit smoking if you are doing it, and it's a good way to have fun and blow smoke O's if you get zero nicotine because that's always kind of fun. I did read a report though that said most zero nicotine juices do at least have a little bit of nicotine in them.
If they're pre-made. You can also make them at home because honestly the recipe is as simple as I just listed. It is your polypropylene glycol, your vegetable glycerin, and some type of extract, and that's it. And that can't harm you. There's no nicotine in that whatsoever, and you can make that on your own
Now, how
at home.
easy is it to find those things, though? Is it expensive?
Honestly, it's not.
I don't know, so go ahead and answer.
No. It's a
I'm just
perfectly
wondering.
normal question. Honestly, you can go on Amazon right now.
Amazon, you can get anything.
You can literally A to Z, just like in their logo. Yeah, you can go on Amazon, get the flavoring, get the polypropylene glycol or vegetable glycerin. Even if you wanted, you can get nicotine from there, liquid nicotine. However, that stuff is extremely poisonous. I don't recommend anybody to do that if you're going to work with the nicotine. However, if you just want your zero, you can make it off Amazon. Honestly, I think I got it down to about $30 for a gallon of the juice, and it works great. So, if you're into vaping and you do zero, that's the best option I recommend. But yeah, that's the best way to answer your question. It's real easy to get. Real simple stuff. You can actually go to your local stores and find it.
Which everybody's got local stores that are blowing up like it is.
Yeah. And you can even make your own mods. I have a 3D printer, and you buy rechargeable batteries, and you print out a box you want to put it in. You build it and screw on a tank, and you're done. You got your own homemade vape kit. And
I
you
mean,
guys,
being rich get to a 3D printer. Not many people are
yeah,
as high of income in their household.
yeah.
Me.
I guess you could say that.
Because not like Joe Schmo just walks up on the street and he's like, oh, okay, I got a 3D printer right now, and I can just make my own mod. It's not as easy, but
true.
I
But you
understand
can,
many, the make movement is moving around.
yeah,
like
make
crazy.
is a big thing. That's another topic we can save for episode 2. And with that, is there anything else you guys want to
Fine.
say? Any other topics you can think of off the top of your head to gun out?
No, I just wanted to say thanks everyone for listening to the first episode
Oh.
of the Serial Busters, SERIAL, because we're serially busting.
And Devin, your Twitter handle is?
At TTFS Mint. Ryan over here, his Twitter handle is at RyPapernick17. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
Gingy the Killer.
Instagram, no.
Oh,
My
damn.
Twitter handle would be at Papernick17. That's
Oh, yeah.
PAPIERNIK 17.
I was close.
And I'm the Gingy the Killer. That's pretty simple to spell.
Well, I mean, is it an IE or a Y? It's an IE, GINGIE. What's
The
up,
Killer.
Gingy? You know.
And that's all for us. This has been the pilot first episode of February 2nd, 2015.
It's February 8th, John.
Well, I screwed that up royally. Either way, you guys know
It's
the date.
okay.
It's
It's
Serial
not the
Busters,
first thing.
and
We
we
don't
will
have to
see
worry
you in the
about
next
that.
episode.